Coronavirus variant.
COVID-19 levels.
COVID-19.
COVID pandemic.
COVID-19.
COVID-19.
Ever since 2020, generational connections have fallen apart. Threats of the infectious demon that was COVID-19 saw the decline in social life throughout all ages. Elderly ages specifically were targeted for their vulnerability and were forced to confine themselves from their loved ones. Studies show that building trust and being there for one another are the best ways to improve social relationships. According to health.mil, the best way for veterans to develop strong social ties is to communicate confidently and look out for others. Our idea of Skill Connect was a place where elders and teens alike could share their proficiencies in a way where they could learn from each other. Skill Connect revolves around the basic idea where a request about an issue is made and is solved by another helper. In the process, skills and knowledge are shared, trust is built, and social relationships are strengthened. Let's explore the app.
Our first features come with account creation. Wanting to make this app as accessible as possible for all ages, we opted for an extremely straightforward layout that allows clarity for users no matter the age. When you create your account, you will be prompted with a skill tree. The skill tree is a simple yet effective way to assign yourself proficiencies that other users will see and be able to identify your strengths in terms of being able to assist them. As you proceed, they expand into more specific categories. Say we picked food. It will then expand into cooking, baking, and gardening. Let's then say that you select cooking next. This expands into even more specific categories, such as meal prep, recipe help, and technique help. This will occur infinitely with the help of AI technology to ensure that a user has all their bases met and that the perfect user can come to help for any request we post. We've shortened the process to the preliminary questionnaire. However, in reality, this process would be much longer. Here, we have been assigned software, computers, design, and hardware proficiencies. Our skill set has been added into account info, certifying our expertise to users. Now, let's step into some of our requests. As you can see, there are personalized requests catering to the proficiencies of the user, which were just determined earlier. Here, we see a user proficient in technology being recommended requests regarding computers, hardware, and broken tech. Users can freely select a request made by other users to fit their desired categories and assist as needed. Urgent requests are also highlighted in the scenario that users decide to assist with a priority task.
Let's move on to what happens after you accept the request. First, you will be taken to the active requests page, listing out all your accepted requests. Selecting an accepted request will prompt three options: info, to read up on any provided statistics; chat, where you can converse through text form; and call, where you will be placed into a temporary call room so visuals and voice can be transferred. We implemented calling options to assist users that have trouble communicating through text, such as transcript or whiteboard, or they can communicate freely through other means. When both users agree that the request has been concluded, the chat room will automatically close within a week's time, and the contact will be saved as a previous contact in your system in case a similar problem appears again for either user. This also provides both users with a guaranteed contact and friend for future issues.
Now let's run through the process of creating a request. As an example, let's say our gutter is broken. To start off, we must navigate to the Your Requests page, where all your previously made requests are stored. Also present is the plus button, which will take you to a Create Request page. This page runs you through the entire process of providing any potential information about the issue to potential helpers. First, you select a tag that applies to your problem. This will allow helpers within this expertise to locate your issue. Next, create a description with an image and a title that will go out to the public. Finally, when you're satisfied, submit and publish your request to the public and we will notify you when a helper accepts it.
In summary, the process of SkillCon allows users of all ages to connect and socialize through the sharing of knowledge and proficiencies. Through this method, we will rebuild the damage done to our social lives through the pandemic. Thanks for listening to our demo, and we hope to see you during voting.
All right, wonderful. Thanks for that presentation, Team Saucy Inc.
So the first question we have will be from Mary. Mary, what question do you have for our students?
Yeah, first off, great presentation. I thought it was really interesting to hear about it. I'm curious, is there anything that you would do differently after having gone through this process of like building out this, creating this design? Is there anything that you would change about this process?
Yeah, I'll take this one. Something I think we could have done a little differently was create like more of an incentive for people to use this app. So basically what our app is it revolves around the goodwill of people. So you create a request and you also help someone. So in turn of helping someone, someone helps you, right? So our app kind of revolves around the goodwill of people, but I don't know if the goodwill of people is enough of an incentive to drive enough people to keep this app alive. But I think currently what we have, this is a viable option to keep a close community.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm curious about that. Just one quick follow-up. If you're worried about the viability of the app, it sounds like in the long term, I'm curious how you were thinking about helping people get like into the app in the first place.
So our app is gonna basically go around like socially. Basically, people will tell each other about it, and the more problems that people need solving, the more this app is gonna get used because the request option is like really basic and people can get used to it really easily, right? So it basically relies on people telling each other and like issues that need to be solved.
Thank you. That was awesome.
All right. Thanks for that answer, team, and thanks for that question, Mary. Let's open it up to the rest of the judging panel. Any follow-up questions?
Hey team, a great presentation. I like the fact that you mentioned AI. Is that a Gen AI in the background? Like I saw a chatbot, or is that going to be, is that like a real person or is that like a Gen AI generated answer on that chatbot?
Are you referring to the direct messaging feature where it was one person talking to another person?
Yeah. Oh, it is a one-to-one? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's not a Gen AI generated.
No, we specifically use AI more in the process of assigning people tags for what their skills may be. So in the skill tree process, we use AI to
Oh,
like
for the
put
tagging.
amount of possibilities for the questions down. So
Okay, great. Thank you.
I'll follow that up too. How? I want to see how do you how are you planning to do it? How do you want to use AI to generate the tags for people? What's the input on that one? I mean, if you haven't thought about it, it's fine. But like, I just want to see what would you think of the input to be able to generate accurate tags for people?
So our idea for the generating tags was basically like an infinite web that gets like smaller and more specific each time you select an option, right? So you'll be tagged up with, let's say, like cooking, and then after that, you'll get options for like meal prep or like culinary or like baking. Like it'll get it's more specific each time, but you'll still have like those more general ones still assigned to you as like a larger kind of smaller, more insignificant part of your tag.
Cool.
Okay, wonderful. Any other questions from the audience? I mean, from the judges?
I guess I can just ask one more. I really appreciate the presentation. I appreciate the walkthrough. And I was looking at your user flows, and there's like an interesting depth to them. Like you're showing us your onboarding process, and there's like an interesting way of collecting information there. And then you have other ways as well, like some interesting interactions on the main page leading to the subsections. So that's always kind of interesting to me. Like, how do you go about doing that design research, or finding those ideas, right? Is that coming from you directly, or are you looking at specific benchmarks like apps that already exist in the market that would be like a good example for something like that?
I think I can answer this one. So while we were designing and making the sketches and all the other stuff and the storyboarding, we didn't really come up with the idea. We kind of looked at other apps such as Udemy and Skillshare, and we kind of looked at what these two apps or other apps had in common and what made them like maybe aesthetically pleasing to the eye or just like brought the viewer's attention. So yeah. So we kind of brought in those elements from those apps and brought them into ours. Not all, but some.
Following on to that, our app was the concept of like our original idea was to create like bounties that people could complete and like trade in like an online currency for. But we found that idea to be kind of too like someone could easily capitalize on that, right? So our idea was then changed into like this request and helping other people for over that idea because it more revolves around goodwill, which is our idea.
Thank you.
Okay, wonderful. I have a quick question from the audience. I'll bring it up here for Team Saucy. This is from Audrey. Her question is, with the current development of AI, what's to stop people from getting simply searching up things instead of going through the trouble of using the app?
Well,
I'll take this. Oh,
you can go, Liam.
okay. So the thing with our platform is you're talking to people who have more experience than AI maybe does right now at the moment. Because what AI mainly does is it just imitates what it thinks that is the best answer in that situation, but it's not necessarily right all the time. So you'll likely get more concrete and working answers from real people who have more experience, at least at the moment. But if AI definitely does get to a point where it is better than people with a lot of experience, we will make sure to integrate that into our app so that way we get the best experience for users.
I think that same question can also go for asking, why do we need tutors if we just have AI? Because the thing is with tutors and teachers, it's way easier to learn because you're having like one-on-one conversation, but like just searching up like a math problem or searching up how to build a chair or something, you don't really have the same experience of learning from another person because it's much harder to learn from a page rather than talking to someone.
And to follow up on that, I also want to add that when you're searching it up, like places like Reddit or all these other sites, it takes way longer to find the information. While our app is way more organized and you'd be able to find it in like no time. And it's just way more efficient, and especially if you want to like have one-on-one with somebody or get answers, sometimes you have to pay some online subscriptions just to appreciate the site and then they'd be able to help you. But with ours, it's just quick and easy and you can find someone.
All right, wonderful. Great answers, guys. So good presentation. Thank you, Team Saucy, and also for the judges for the good questions.